Hi, guys. This is Carol with Create Your Future. And today I am sharing this story with Katie. Well, Katie is going to be sharing her success story. This is going to be part two of Lead the Way, and your SB will follow. Now, Katie's going to read her part. We both work with this client, and she shared the success that she had working with both of us. So we want to share the story together. This, like, Katie's part is amazing. So, as you all know, Katie is a certified life coach. She's also a coach here at Create Your Future. And she's also a certified meditation teacher. And she's amazing. You all know that she is amazing. I love Katie and her zen. And we all need a little bit of that. So, yes, Katie, take it away with your story.
Oh, well, thank you, Carol. I love you too. Making me blush. Okay. So, yes, this is our client story part two. Okay. So, a couple of months ago, I worked with Katie and we were working on my ability to trust the recreated version of my SP. There's been so much growth in this area, and our relationship just seems solid and stable. Two of my frequent intentions. After one session, I decided to assume intent that a woman who had caused some issues in my relationship was moving away. I just kept saying, anytime that I thought of her, that she was moving to LA. It helped me feel better instantly. I also would intend to forget she exists and that if she ever showed up with their mutual friends, it would just remind me in my SP how amazing I am. LOL, pretty soon. I actually just stopped thinking about her at all, and my SP had not mentioned her in a long time. Well, one night about 2 months later, after hanging out with one of their mutual friends, my SP casually mentioned that this woman was talking about moving to LA, and her friends her friends thought she was lying because it seemed so random. But this week, she is officially moving to LA. So awesome. But I never even think about her anymore because I'd already intended to forget her and it already worked. Now, the intention that she would move away is happening too. Just a side note, it was important to me to intend only kind and neutral things about her. And I think that helped me stick to my own version of this happening. Woo! So that's her success of not only is her relationship as we both know so stable and strong, right? Obviously wasn't when we all first started meeting with her. Now it is. She also intended for a 3P, if you will, to go to LA in the most loving, natural way. And I just think that is so cool how not only was she able to create such a strong and steady relationship with her person, but also just like any, foreseeable issues, people that you're not comfortable with. It's just like in the most kind and loving way, you're still in charge. You can absolutely put them somewhere else in the world and really have it work out in like a loving, beautiful way for them too, because they are still you pushed out, right? But if it's your preference to not have them around, cool. Put them somewhere like LA if you're not in LA.
Yes,
And that's
you
what
can
she
put them
did.
wherever you want.
But I love to because you could tell the randomness of it. Like it does. We tend to forget because these things happen so naturally. Like when you're doing your inner conversations, when you're doing your intentions. I mean, you focus on them for as long as you need to. But then we enter what's called a Sabbath, where it's like when you do it enough times, you stop thinking about it. You're just like, oh,
Mhm.
like it just feels settled. It feels normal and natural. And of course, in the most natural way, it does get pushed out. But this is where you want to remember that you did do that, by the way. Like, she
Yes.
is the reason this woman is going to LA, even though it probably seems like, oh, well, she's doing this because of this job or her friends or whatever. No, you are always the cause. It is always you. Always, always
Yes.
you. But it will happen in a very natural way where you have to remember, like, oh, I manifested that. I manifested that. I did that. And obviously, she did that. She's realizing, like, no, I really did do this. She's owning her power. And that
Yes.
feels so
I
good.
definitely. It's like seeing it as a given. And that's just the way that it is. Because the more you repeat it and the more that becomes your story, you don't think about it anymore because you see it as a given. You don't question it anymore. And I love this because I think that I don't know if this has happened to you, but it happens to me where I manifest things and I surprise myself. Like, even though I was intending for it, for some reason, when it happens, it still feels so surreal where I'm like, oh my gosh. But then wait a minute. I did this. I've been intending for it the entire time, but there is like this one moment where you live in the knowing that you don't think about it anymore. It's just a given, and then when it happens, you're surprised. It's like, and
Oh
it
my
feels
gosh.
surreal. It feels magical, and it's
Yeah.
always been a little bit hard for me to explain what that feels like. But I know that it feels magical, where you actually like, oh my gosh, this is me. This is all me. And I always say it's all about you, no one else.
Right. It's not, you're the
I love
only
it.
cause. You're the only cause.
Yes. And I think this is one of people's favorite topics, but I also think that the recreate the SB is also one
Mm,
of our viewers' favorite topics, because I think when we're going through this, like that's part of the process, recreating yourself as the person receiving this, but recreating your SB. And how did you work around that with her? Because I know you mentioned something about nature wants to grow and evolve, and I loved it how you explain it. So please
yeah.
explain
Okay.
further.
Okay. Okay. So yes, in terms of recreating your SP, and our client here, something she wrote, she's like, I had to learn to trust this recreated version, right? Because when we were working together, we had to go in and really, go into our preference. Like, what's the best version of your SP? Oh, that he's strong, that he's steady, that he's all about me. He thinks I'm amazing. Like, it just feels normal. It feels natural. It feels secure. He's obsessed with me. Like, whatever it is that you're desiring, whatever she was desiring, we got really clear on that version of him. And then the big thing is like, okay, now I want you to trust this version and this version only. And here's why. Like, here's at least my belief system behind it. Okay, we can trust the most loving version of our SP, right? Because that's the most sustainable version. The version that wants you back, right? That your desire, there's intelligence in that, right? So you want this version of your SP because they want you back. You're going to be able to create something. You're going to be able to expand and grow. And if you just look at nature, nature always wants to expand and grow. We want to expand and grow. That's why we create in the first place. We don't want to just come here, create people that reject us and hurt us, and then like die always constantly. Like, that was so dramatic, but yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, imagine a life
But it's
where you
true.
have desires, but you're always going to fail. Imagine a life where everything you want doesn't want you. That is so like unsustainable. That can't work. Nature would not support that. So I was like, back to nature. I'm like, will nature support the most loving version of this person? Will nature support our relationship? Does it expand and grow? Does it, allow more to happen? Because nature wants more. Everything wants, subconscious wants more. And if it does, right, it's in harmony. It's going to work out. And
Yes,
so
it
it's
is our
like these
purpose.
versions, it is our purpose to expand and grow. And so a version, when you think of your SP as not wanting you, or your desires just not wanting you back, you're setting yourself up for a life of just disappointment, of no expansion, of no growth, of just stagnicity. And nature hates stagnicity. It will just die, right? So nature supports you and your SP being like super loving and into each other.
Of course it does. And I always say, like, we come here with a purpose, and that is to have what we desire.
Yeah.
And I mean, the moment that we think of something, the possibility already exists. So I always say, like, I created the desire. So the moment that I desire something, then it's automatically mine, because it's my creation. It's my mind. I am the only thing that's awareness in my reality. So that automatically makes it mine. Like, you desire something, you claim it as yours, and that is it. And I also I love how you explain that, because I had never seen it that way, actually. Like, thank you for bringing that up today. And because I always say, you're always moving forward.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a setback in manifesting.
Mm,
You don't start all over again. It's just, you hit bumps on the road, you work through them, and you're always moving forward. And we were, right before we started recording, you were talking about something about the 3D, like 4D and the 3D, and how to manage that, how to perceive
mhm.
it, and how to make it work for you. When it comes to people, reacting to the 3D, and how do you explain that, especially when you're recreating a person and you're waiting for that version to conform?
Yeah. And so when I'm, I guess, working with a client on that, it's like, you can always trust the 4D version, the one that's alive inside of you, the one that, you can have a conversation with right now if you want to. Like, you can talk to your SP right now, because this is the other thing about them being like really loving. I think the real version of every person is really loving, is because like they're inside of you. And I like the idea that we're made of love, right? So your SP is inside of you. They love you. They're never going to leave you because they're inside of you. They're right here. They can't go anywhere. They always want to be with you because they are you, right? They are you. They want to be you. They are you. And this is what's real. This is always what's going on. So even though you might be seeing a totally different version out there, that was just whatever you were doing on the inside, right? And this 3D world is you can call it dead, you can call it the shadow world, right? But it's just already manifested. It's just old thoughts. It's the reflection of what's been going on within, and you can play with it and have fun if you want to, or just let it go. But like, what is always real is what's happening right now. This is the eternal, like, life that's always happening within you. Your relationship is here and now inside of you. And this is just proof of whatever you were doing before. That's all it ever is. And so, like, enjoy it if you want to, but your real relationship where it's actually sustainable is the one that's always ongoing. It's always eternal. It's always present for you. And that's going within inner conversations, inner dialogue, thoughts, things like that.
And that's where the power truly is. Yeah, no,
Yes.
definitely 100%. That's where the power truly is. Like, the 3D is completely powerless. It has nothing. Like, it has nothing. So the power is in here. I would say this is the system of operations. This is where the magic happens. So it's like, whenever you see the 3D, right, it's like, no, you take it in to the moment, to the now. This is the present. This is the only place where they're actually real. And I do, we talked about this, how I do my self-talks and I put myself up, in front of the mirror. And when I remind myself who I am and I remind myself of my SB, I actually picture this little version of him. And it's like, this is where he lives. This is where he just sits there waiting for my instructions, waiting for me to tell him what he needs to do. And then he'll follow to whatever it is that I decide. Like, I lead the way. So that's why you're leading the way. Yeah. So that's like, I love it, Katie. I love it so much. Like, you have so much information, and I always love watching your videos. And of course, I learn so much from you every time that I watch your videos, and now just sitting here talking to you and everything that we talked before we started recording. So I truly appreciate your time.
I appreciate yours too.
Yes. And of course, I love the fact that we worked on this client together and we get to share this experience together. So, but anyways, guys, so Katie is available for coaching, and please go ahead, book an appointment with her. And she also has a lot of courses going on. So Katie, would you mind sharing the courses that you have going on right now?
Yeah. Thank you. So I have the Inner Conversations course that if you want to really get, good at inner conversations, and there's a huge focus actually on recreating your specific person in that course, that would be the course for you. Or if you're more into self-concept and getting past like major blockages, and Kariana and I were just talking, like, that course goes through like things that we still have to remind ourselves every day. Like, that course I actually use anytime I have a new desire. I go through those beliefs to remind myself that, I'm the only cause, I'm the creator, my desire wants me, what I want wants me, all those different things. Any blocks you feel might be going on, check out the self-concept to speed up your manifestation course. Then I have pre-recorded meditations and now a pre-recorded workshop on revision too. So check all that out.
Oh, that's amazing.
Some live meditations coming up too. Yeah.
Guys, check it out because Katie has the best voice for meditation. So, I think you should all just go check it out. I know that you'll love it and you'll get a lot out of it. So thank you, Katie, for sharing. And guys, if you like this video, please share and subscribe. And thank you all so much for your support. Thank you so much for all the feedback that we're constantly getting. Like, we're always getting amazing feedback from all of you. We're getting success stories all the time. So we really appreciate all of you taking the time to do that. Okay. So see you all later. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys. Take care.